right. So we're just recording this. So 1, 2, 3. We're here with Olivia Longott. How are you? Myself, Mike.
I'm good.
Co-hosting this podcast. So yeah, Olivia, just like we just jumped on, it's so nice to see you. I'm so happy that you took the time to connect with us. I know you're so busy. You just released your own single, right? Another single.
Yes,
I was just telling Ian before, I'm like, do you know who Olivia is, man? Like, you were singing her songs at the end of your bus stop, man, you know?
I know. I had the song playing, but you kept on hearing just the bumping in there. So I'm like, all right, I'm bringing it out right now.
He just had Candy Shop on, right? When we came on, I was like, this guy. But yeah, I'm so happy you came on. You know, I know we connected like a few, years ago or something.
Yep.
Maybe 5 or 10 years ago, maximum. I don't know. And, you've always been so supportive and genuine and so sweet. You know, you have that aura and that energy. I don't need to tell you. I know.
Thank you.
Special. You got it. And, I wanted to have you on here and just share your story. You know, we just started this podcast. We have some episodes. We're highlighting individuals like yourself or just anyone that feels they could share something impactful, which I know you have. You know, not to put you on the spot like that, but I'd love for you, if you could, just share your story, like how you started with what you do. You're a musician, an entrepreneur, you're in various different niches and fields. So what's the story behind Olivia?
Well, first of all, congratulations on the podcast, guys. This is so dope. And yes, we've met. I can't remember how long ago it was, but it was instant. You were just so cool and so awesome. And I'm glad that we've kept the friendship over the years.
That's 5+ years, huh?
Yeah, it's been some time. We've been, here and there. We always stay connected, supportive of each other. And it's been a bit.
It has. So just to jump in for you guys, for people who do not know, I started in the industry with the legendary Clive Davis. I got signed when I was 19 years old. So I was super ecstatic, just to be around this mogul and him walking me around the mansion and showing me Whitney's pictures and everybody like, oh, I'm going to have you up here. I'm just in awe. And, to have an album come out and then, do 500,000 copies and the single went gold, just awesome. And then now, after that endeavor, G-Unit Interscope, oh my gosh, that was a total whirlwind in which you can expect. Because again, now I'm 21 years old, traveling around the country with the biggest and hottest group at that time. Like, we really did take over for like 5-6 years
100%.
Straight.
100%. Wow.
I still come across some of those songs on my playlist every day, like it's my jam, my vibe.
So amazing. No. Massacre, that album, The Massacre, right? But
that album still bumps, and just for people to come up and sing Best Friend to me or So Amazing in Candy Shop now, that's like crazy. Even your guy, he was like, I was just bumping Candy Shop. And I'm like, wow.
100%. Yeah. And the other one, if you were my best friend.
Yeah, best friend.
Oh, that was a hit. Wow. Wait, so you're 21. So you're now with this group. They're the biggest group. This is like around that 05 period, right? Or like in and around that period, you guys had that whole like decade, if anything, half decade or so for sure. But what was happening? So you just started traveling the world at 21? Like, how did he find you? Or how did you find G-Unit again? Did you
So the crazy thing is being on J Records, after we were like, okay, let's just move to the next deck. I had a VP who was going over to Interscope and he was like, I need to take you with me. So, I don't know how the game goes at that time. So I'm just like, okay, and then I get a call from Chris Lighty, rest in peace. He was managing 50 Cent at the time. And he was like, look, 50 is really interested in signing you. And I'm like, okay, well, how does that work? Because I'm already signed on Interscope through Jimmy Iovine. And he's like, no, it's a subsidiary. You'll be signed to the label under Interscope. And we just got to meet. Like, he really wants you to be on. And I was like, okay, let me think about it. So I talked to my manager and he's like, think about it. He's like the hottest thing out here.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, okay. And you know, you can get blackballed if you don't do the right thing. So it's so many things behind the scenes that's political. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to piss anybody off. I'm already on Interscoop and this is the best move to, you know, how can I not make this move, you know? So I'm really glad that Chris had called me to hit me to it. I, you know, met with him. I was living in LA at the time. So I had met with him in the office and then it was a done deal. And I'll never forget our first tour we did out of the country. Okay. And I remember one of the places that I loved going so much was Sao Paulo. And we were in Brazil and Pharrell comes out. It was like storming rain. And Pharrell walks out in these pink rain boots. I will never forget it. And we were like, oh, he's styling. He just don't care. He's out here doing it. You know?
Pharrell, probably some Chanel boots. Some new pink Chanel boots.
You know what I'm saying? But it was like the moment was just awesome in every country and state we went to. Like the stories that I could tell you guys that I will not tell you guys. Yeah, it's just out of this world.
I can't imagine.
Did you guys always have like a lot of security during those times?
Yeah, each of us had our own security guard stationed to us. So it was, and mine was the best. Like shout out to Damien. Yeah, we each.
The name of the company? Just curious.
I don't remember the name of the company, but I remember my guy, Damien. He was the dopest. Like he was 7 feet. You do not want to mess with him. Right. But all these guys, they were all great. We just had a great crew.
I think it's Guardian Security because they're the best of the best when it comes to that field. And those are my guys here in Miami.
Oh, too. Those are your guys.
You know,
that's
I've heard some stories.
Yeah, that's the plug right there.
Right.
I wanted to tell everyone it was Guardian. You're mad funny. But that's so cool. So that's so you were with like Banks too, right? Like everybody, Rock and like the whole
everybody was on that tour. And then I remember we then signed Mobb Deep, MOP. So we had everybody, Mace, our tours, we didn't need any other people to come out because us as a group, we had so many dope artists. Yeah. Back to back. We were killing the stage. It was just an awesome time, man.
That's incredible. So and then you're touring with them around 21. This is all going on. And then when did Candy Shop or So Amazing or Best Friend or other other bodies of work too of your own and other collaborative work? But when did this moment come? Because I feel like that was just like every kid on the end of their bus stop or driveway was singing that, you know?
Yeah, that was 05.
Yeah, I can't lie. That was 05, right?
Yeah, so I was like 24 then. And that Jesse Terrero shot the hell out of that video. Shout out to him and Ulysses, the two brothers. Like they're still doing the damn thing in this industry. But when we shot that video, like we didn't know it was gonna be as huge as it turned out to be. And especially the video, like the detail that he paid attention to and how he said we wanted it and what we wanted to talk about and how we like made the different rooms, even though it was girls, we kept it with the, you know, everybody was eye candy, but it was still done tastefully, especially at the time where everybody was ODing in videos.
I feel like he elevated or introduced that next level of like motion picture, like movie quality.
Oh man, and Jesse's actually what got me into wanting to act. Because if you guys remember on the end of that video, 50 and I did a skit, like he was coming through the drive-through. And I just, you know, off the fly did it. And I was like, oh man, I kind of like this acting thing.
You're too funny. That's so fun. I mean, essentially you are though, right? That's acting. I mean, you did a bunch of videos, you know, right?
Yeah.
100 million people are watching them. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah. I got to shout out my acting coach, Tracy Moore. Actually, Busta had put me on to Tracy. Like she did Eve's show and a bunch of other people.
Follow each other.
She's like one of the best acting coaches there is, and she still coaches me to this day. So it's really, you guys, you really have to know what you're doing in your craft. So I recommend if you do not have a coach for anything that you're doing, always make sure you have one.
Yeah, that's
coach,
great.
Mentor. You know, like even Denzel Washington has like a coach, I heard.
Yep.
So
yeah, everybody. I mean,
elevated,
yeah. I wanted to even ask you, leading into my next question, or great little segue there is, what would you say, like, what would you recommend is like, the steps, or it's hard to just put into a few words steps to success, right?
Right.
But what would you say to others that are inspired to become musicians, or someone that's the young Olivia out there? Very simple, no pressure though. Whatever you off the top, because I know you could go into so many things, of course, about it, but what would you say to somebody that wants to, pursue that path? Yeah.
The simplest thing that I can say, and you hear it all the time, which is really true, just don't give up. Don't give up in yourself. No matter if you see other people saying, how the social media age, people can say, oh, they're not good, they'll never make it, blah, 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 and then they're the next big thing, Just believe in yourself and make sure you have one person on your team who pushes you to be better also. All you need is one person who can drive you, because sometimes you will have those days where you have low self-esteem, or you think you can't do this, or you don't want to get up and work. You just got to push yourself and keep going.
Oh, I love that.
Discipline. And consistency.
Yep, consistency.
I love it. And you've been doing music. What was like your beginning, like what got you into music initially? Not to jump all the way back to that, but then I want to move forward from there. But what
sure.
was driven with that?
I would say my older brother, I grew up, so he used to have this DJ that he was best friends with, and he would always take me over there. I was like 14, 15, and he would take me over there. They're just chilling, messing around in the studio or lifting weights or whatever you guys do and stuff. But I always wanted to be around my older brother. So he would take me, and Alex was his name. And he used to play like the house music and all that stuff. And I like all types of music. So I would sit there and just be intrigued at everything. And one day he was like, get on the mic. Like, let's see what you can do. And I, started singing. I would rap, because you guys know that was a big part of my stuff in G Unit 2 and on my first album. And I just was like, okay, this is when I knew. I was 15 years old, and I knew that I wanted to be in the music industry.
Wow, just like that.
Yeah.
Crazy. That's crazy. So I wanted to ask you this too. So after that, you started making a lot more of your other bodies of works, jumping back to like the 21, then the 05 and 24, around then you just started making a lot of your own work, and you just released your own single, right? Like right now, like in the last week or two or three, like very recent. Can you speak about that? Like what's this new single about?
So this new single is called No Permission. This gives you the inkling of how the album is going to be. There's so many, I can't even like tell you the body of work, because I was in such a zone doing this album. We were during the height of the pandemic when I started to do this album. So it was already difficult trying to navigate through that. And then also, still grieving the loss of my mom. For most people who don't know, I lost my mom to Parkinson's disease. So I was still trying to figure out how to navigate, if I wanted to, take another break, or what I wanted to do. And then I ended up writing a song for my mom.
Condolences again to you, just
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Special, like, your mother is to you and to everybody.
I appreciate it.
From afar. Yes. I saw the postings and everything. Yeah. So, but yeah.
So there is a song on her, about her on the album that I got through to finally record it after I wrote it. So the body of work is just, I would say it's a melting pot, because you have so many different things that make up Olivia as far as music. So you'll get this sultry, sexy R&B in No Permission, and then you have other records that will bring you to the Caribbean islands, or I'm gonna take it all the way back to, we're going to the Dominican Republic. I got mad stuff on here, y'all, but No Permission is the set off point to let you know how it's gonna go. And I love that every song on the album, you can literally play back to back. I remember growing up loving playing albums where you didn't have to skip a track. You know what I'm saying? Like it just flowed right into it. I made sure I did that with this album.
Yeah, I love that. So it's like your full, it's all parts of you, every like all different components of you, right? You like just kind of like bled through, and not bled like soul through your soul through the wire type vibe, right? Like I feel
exactly.
I want to check that out. That's awesome, and I feel like that's like such a healthy thing to do, right? Through music, it's like just you know, right?
It's therapeutic,
yeah,
you know, and so many people will I think so many people will resonate with it because I'm speaking from the heart. I'm very vulnerable in a lot of the songs, especially the song about my mother. So I know, you know, for anyone who's still grieving or just, you know, grieving now, like I have so many people hit me and say they lost their parents 20 years ago and it still feels the same hurt. So I'm just glad that I can bring some inspiration or, you know, just some type of release from what's going on in reality.
Yeah, 100%. You help people like get emotionally mature around this topic to an extent, right? Sure. Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. You know, and then Olivia, I also wanted to ask you, like, lastly, also like, you know, another thought, you know, going back to, you know, music and kind of like entrepreneurial and broad perspectives. I'd love to get that too. Back a bit broad, you know, what would you say is like your morning routine in general, like that, you know, that you feel maybe allowed you to be so consistent? Because you've been making music and focus for such a period of time. And it takes something like, you know, to be so disciplined for so long. Like what is there something you're doing in that morning routine? I find that to be something that's consistent to an extent.
Sometimes yes, and sometimes no. It depends if I'm traveling. But most of the time in the mornings, I do a light workout. Sometimes I'll just read. Either I'll read a book, like a literal book.
Oh yeah.
or I'll go on my phone and I read my Bible app just to, you know, clear my mind, to start my day fresh. Sometimes the things that help you most is when you are alone, when you meditate by yourself, when you figure out what works for you so that you can decompress before you go out into a busy world, you know? So it usually is the small things that people take for granted that really do help you relax.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, because I feel like I always see you like sharing such positive energy and positive messages. So I know you're doing something, you're consuming that somewhere, which is amazing. Ian, you got to start following, you know, Olivia on everything. You really should.
Oh, we did already, you know, like, we were fixing up the connection. Yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Yeah, support her too. You know, I want to share some stuff. He's got a very big following and whatnot. But yeah, just aside from the music and all that, like the message, the vibes, the energy, it's just amazing. And I'm not even gassing you up, Olivia. You know, I don't need to. I'm being so honest. No, it's really dope. You know,
Thank you.
Got that too. It's attached to the talent, like, you know, such a special aura, which I think is what keeps you kind of flying and floating, you know, and you're not going to stop.
That is so nice to hear. I try to do that more. I should do it more on Instagram, but I do it more on my Facebook Live. And I usually come on and like you said, I give insight, or I tell them my stories, or sometimes I cook with them because that's therapeutic also. And I just give them inspiration because some people really need to hear that even though you're at your worst days now, the best is yet to come. You know, sometimes you need to hear it from strangers or different people to pull you out of where you are. It just resonates more because when people who are close to you and they're telling you certain things, it's crazy. You really don't tend to listen to it, but when you hear it from an outsider, it hits you differently, you know? So I always try to give inspiration where I can, because of course I have, you know, down days or bad days too, but I just got to pick myself up, you know? And I think that comes from me being a woman of faith. My mom instilled God in me from a very, very young age. And I've kept it with me wherever I go. Like I said, I travel with my Bible all the time. If I don't have my physical Bible, I have it on my phone. So, and I usually am a bubbly person. I'm very fun. I tell lots of jokes also. My friends know that I'm a prankster too. So I think that comes with my happy vibe, you know?
Yeah. I love it. So special. You know, and it's true because you're like an artist. You're true. Obviously, you're talented with writing and then, you know, vocals and whatnot, but you're really just an artist of, like, in many ways, not just, there's so many other things.
Yes.
An artist of expression, right? So I feel like a
Right.
lot of your followers come to you for that like they want to absorb that from you, something, whether it's music or energy, like you really are.
Right.
Right. So I love that you really do shed a light, you know, because it's really special, like, you know, to a lot of people, you know. And then lastly, Olivia, you know, again, I'm so happy you came on with us. You know, I always love to stay connected with you. I think I'm always
my pleasure.
Knocking on your door, like, what's up, Olivia? How we doing?
5+ years. That's awesome to see, you know, and show that on the gram, on and off.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like I with my brand, we love, you know, we handcraft, you know, I love doing that, leather goods in. And
I was just about to say, I got to get some more stuff from you. Like, your guys, this is not because we're friends. I'm telling you, like, the quality of stuff that Michael has. Michael Lewis, is it Michael Lewis, New York? I know you changed.
Yeah, Michael Lewis.
You guys got to go on his site. I promise you. Like, this is not even, he didn't tell me to do this, guys. His stuff, the quality is amazing, y'all.
Oh, you're the best. So sweet. I love you. But
I love you back,
you know I do, and I'm gonna send you some nice new stuff too. But yeah.
Oh man, early Christmas.
love. But yeah, Les, I want to ask, you know, genuinely for me and everybody else, but like, what's next? Like, what are you working on now? Is there another body of work? Are you chilling? Are you doing something else? Because I know.
No. I am not chilling, guys. I am actually working on some more movie stuff. I know a lot of people have seen Man in 3B already. We have Conspiracy X was out. I just shot another movie with Sean Baker. It's called Better Than My Last. They just had a private screening in Atlanta and New York, so it should be coming to theaters now. And I was a starring role in that. So I'm super excited for you guys to see that. So yeah, I have a lot of things coming. I don't want to give away too much, but the album will be coming this year also, y'all. So the album is called Under Pressure, and it will be out this year also.
I love it. So dope. Yeah, he knows you and saw the Love and Hip Hop thing, and I'm like, I know she does so much more too, which is dope. So I'm excited to see that. So yeah,
thank you
so much again. I know you have a bit of time, so I appreciate you getting us in, and we love you over here. You already know what it is. Right?
It was my pleasure again. I love you back, Michael. Please say hello to your dad for me also.
I will. You were ready. All right? Keep up all the great stuff. All right, we're right here.
Thank you. Right. Continue success on the podcast too. Bye.
Thank you.
Love. Take care.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for watching this episode. We upload a new episode every Friday at 5 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. We as well greatly appreciate those that have subscribed to the channel. We appreciate the love and the support. Lastly, if you've missed last week's episode, tune into the episode right here.